Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. Tonight, I've got a special tarot card reading, and this one is actually for, well, we're just going to use the first initial J. And J would like to know, will I shift if I really try? So let's just find out. Okay. So this card is the Chariot. And the interesting thing about this card, like in this particular spread, is it represents the conscious and then the subconscious or the unconscious mind. So when you see this card come about, like in a question like this, where we're asking about like shifting, shifting reality and that type of thing, um, it's kind of like it's almost giving us like not just a yes or no so much as a matter of perspective. So the perspective that this card is giving us is that sometimes we let our critical mind or our negativity or disbelief or doubt prevent us from moving forward, from being able to do things. And then on the other hand, we have the subconscious mind, which is really a lot more open minded. It's where we don't really just give in to the unbelievable, but we actually choose to believe. Some people call it make believe, some people call it using your imagination, some people call it focusing, like focusing in like trance and that kind of thing, where you just kind of take on an alternate reality subconsciously. Now, the difference between these two states is that with your conscious mind, you can really only process about, well, somewhere between 5 and 9 message units at any given moment. Our conscious mind is unable to focus beyond, that many message units. It's more limited. Now, our unconscious mind, on the other hand, has the ability to be able to focus in a lot of things, a lot more different. It's almost infinite, one might even argue. So, but the difference is that we're really in a trance-like state. But that's why things will just sometimes naturally just come to you, like the answer will come to you, those kind of things. It's coming from that subconscious state of mind. And the same thing applies when you're manifesting or doing a lot of different things. It's like you're trying to get something like a shape shifting or, um, going back into the past or jumping into the future, these kind of things. Um, it's very possible, though. I don't disbelieve that. I've had instances myself personally where, um, like I've been in such a state that it wasn't really dreaming. It was more, uh, best to put it, it's almost just like, I'm just kind of kind of like in a trance state. And this can happen during prayer or supplication also. I mean, it's that kind of that, or you're doing like a japa with like a mala or something like that, doing some recitation and that type of thing. You can enter these kind of states. Hypnosis is another kind of way that people sometimes describe it, that kind of thing. Whatever the case is, the reality of the actual state itself gives us the ability to do a lot of things. For me, when I was able to actually, um, like leave the body in a sense and actually be able to go someplace else and see what was going on in real time in that environment. And then I tested it. Like later on, I was able to test it. And when I came upon the people that I was around, they were like, "Yeah, we were doing exactly those kind of things and this and that." And then it was in a place I'd never been to before, and I was able to describe it pretty good, as far as the description of the place goes. So, you know, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But it does take your unconscious mind to really get you there. So something to kind of think about. Now, of course, I'm a monk, and I mean, like, take the Bible for example. Um, there's a verse, and this is all about like faith or that kind of thing. It's really about manifesting, or however you want to look at it. But the Bible verse is Proverbs 2:5 and 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So it's like, um, so trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean into your own understanding. In other words, don't use your subconscious faculties to really be able to discern things. Um, in every way, acknowledge that God or your higher self, whatever you want to call it, universe. Different people have different terms for it, and it will direct thy path. God will direct thy path. So trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not unto thine own understanding, all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So it's just kind of like from a spiritual kind of perspective, another way of looking at things. There's other spiritual texts that have similar messages that they give to the readers. So, yeah. So, I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. The next card that you have in the reading, though, is this Eight of Pentacles, and it's about, this is about repetitive tasks, so it's sort of about like doing things repetitively and you'll get better and better at it. In other words, if you're trying to get, to shift, however you wanted to put it, you can do that, but it'll require some practice and some repetition. So the interesting thing that I find interesting in this reading is that we had the 7, which was the Chariot for the major arcana. We have the 8 here. 7's really spiritual. 8's really the material, or the, doing certain things in a certain way to get the same, to consistent results or better results moving forward. That's kind of what we're talking about here. And the other nice thing about the 8, or this particular card, is this repetition. And repetition creates your persuasion. So the more you do something and you start to see success with it or results, the easier it is to believe and the easier it is to do. So that's kind of the message the cards are kind of giving you here. That's also what I'm kind of getting intuitively. Now, the last card is, this is an interesting one, and don't get too upset when you see it. But this is, you notice this is sometimes referred to as like the nightmare card. In this particular spread, though, what this is basically doing is telling you like, well, it's almost like it's waking up from the dream, in order to see reality. But this is about the nightmare. So it's about kind of altered states of seeing things. You can realize that, in the end, it's kind of what you make it. So this is another reminder to use your imagination. It's kind of like the dream card, if you want to think of it like that. When you're dreaming, anything is possible. And chances are you've had dreams and been able to do some pretty cool stuff. And dreams actually seem quite real. And when you're dreaming, you don't really know the difference, unless you're doing like lucid dreaming or something like that. But you don't really know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. There's really no difference, in the moment. It doesn't matter, does it? Because it is real. So it begs the question, like if you want to look at it from a different perspective, you can say, if in our imagination, if we can perceive something to be real, who's to say it's not? I mean, so as far as shifting or the ability to be able to do anything, is there that lack and limitation there, or is it genuinely possible? And I would say just if you have to pick a choice, in terms of, well, if is anything possible, or are we limited? If you have to pick a choice on those belief systems, which one makes you happier? Which one do you want to choose to believe? So that's kind of the which one serves you better. Which belief is going to serve you better? And if the imagination and anything is possible and serves you better and gives you a better result, then that might be the one you want to choose. On the other hand, if limitation, lack, disbelief, fear, those kind of things, if that resonates more with you, that might be what you want to, that might be the avenue you want to go in. But anyways, that's the reading. So I hope that was able to help you out a little bit, or at least kind of give more perspective on it for you. Um, I personally don't believe anything's impossible, so I'm pretty open minded to things. But that's, I'm a monk. We practice spiritual disciplines, and so um, I've had some experiences that kind of lead me to believe in this direction. But everybody's different, and everyone has their own beliefs, and there's no fault in that. It's just if you're gonna, if you're, it's just like with the Bible. I mean, there's good and bad in the Bible. I mean, if you're going to believe in the Bible, why not believe in the good parts of the Bible? People say, well, there's this and this and this. But if that's going to be your belief, why not? So, I mean, why just only focus on the negative sides? I mean, there's a lot of good things in the Bible. So why not focus on that? Or if you're going to reject the Bible, then just, I guess, you can reject everything or choose to believe what you want to believe in it. I mean, it's entirely up to you. The reason is here's the thing, like different people have different beliefs. So, but you get some people and they say, well, God made me do this, or, God caused this to happen or something like that. And woe me and this and that. But, you know, that's fair enough belief. I mean, if that's serving you in some way. But you could also say, you could also pinpoint the more positive aspects, like, God just says if I trust in him, everything's going to be okay. So I'm just letting it go. And hey, I feel great. I mean, that's just a different spin on things. So, take things how you want. But I think deep down inside, kind of the message that I'm kind of picking up is that you really do believe this is possible. And, you just want to kind of get some more clarity on that. And I think I've pretty much covered those bases with you. So I hope that helps. Anyways, thank you so much for the opportunity to serve. Much love, many blessings. And guys, we'll see you guys on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. I hope this has been somewhat informative for you guys. And if you have any questions or anything for me, or if you'd like to talk about this issue, if it's important to you, if you want to chime in and share some things, feel welcome to, as long as we keep things, fairly positive. I mean, if you have some negative thinking about this, you can share it. Just be kind of conscientious in the way that you share it. I don't want to like rain on anybody's parade here or anything. We just try to keep everything kind of nice and positive here, spiritually uplifting, but at the same time, as practical as we can keep it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, if you guys want to support this channel, support the mission of the monks, my mission, you can do that. Just go to helpbydonating.com. Leave whatever's in your heart. It really does go a long ways, further than most people think. And then if you would like to get a tarot card reading or just reach out to me directly about a spiritual matter or something like that, you're able to do that also. I've got all my contact information and everything in the description below this video. And if you'd like, of course, please by all means, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you hit the bell notification and we come on live, you can actually ask me questions live and I can answer them on the air here for you. As long as you don't mind your YouTube identity being in the chat or anything. But other than that, and besides, much love and many blessings to all of you guys. And I hope to see you guys on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. Thanks for tuning in.